can have it all. I can have it all.
Hello everybody, it's Christy Whitman with the Quantum Success Show, where you can get your information and inspiration to create your desires. And as you can see, I have a special friend with me. This is Dr. Mary Oz, and I'm going to introduce Dr. Mary to you. She's a full-time therapist and life coach. She actually graduated from the QSEA, yay! And I was able to, I had the privilege of mentoring Mary last year, which really was a great treasure for me. So she has helped hundreds of people achieve meaningful and massive changes in their life. She is a well-trained, well-educated, and successful entrepreneur whose passion is to help others improve their lives emotionally, spiritually, physically, and financially. She resides in New York with her two beautiful daughters. And Dr. Mary is also the author of the, you're going to have to help me with this, allegorical, did I say that right?
Yep.
Allegorical coaching book called An Invitation to Your Financial Success and Freedom. She presently teaches a 6-month course on the healing power of Ho'oponopono, the law of attraction, and results-oriented living. She has had the privilege of working for Anthony Robbins and is trained as a results-oriented coach. So also graduated the QSCA and, just thrilled that you're here. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah. I'm excited because, I've known about Ho'oponopono for a little bit and haven't really done it much myself. And, I know that a lot of people do, and it's really healing. And so you have a way to get radical change in less than 30 days by working with Ho'oponopono. So can you tell us what is Ho'oponopono and what is the area of life that it can help us with?
Sure, absolutely. So the thing about Ho'oponopono is it's so easy and it's so powerful. And really, if you want a Ho'oponopono, all you have to do is say 4 sentences. So you actually say, I love you, I thank you, please forgive me, and I'm sorry. And it's a Hawaiian healing technique. Some people call it a Hawaiian healing prayer. And right, focusing on things like love, reconciliation is such high vibration. So when you say these 4 sentences and you connect to God or you connect to Source, you're connecting with God and Source, which creates healing from God and Source. It's not healing that comes from within us. But it's so simple. You just say the 4 sentences.
So say those again.
I love you. I thank you. Please forgive me. And I'm sorry. You can say them in any order. You can say them quietly, or you can say them out loud. But once you're saying those 4 sentences, you're actually Ho'oponoponoing.
I'm a Ho'oponoponoing.
I mean, it's so easy. We could teach children to do it, right? You could teach a 4 or 5, 6-year-old to do it.
So is there any way to mess it up or do it wrong?
You can't really do it wrong. It's funny. I teach classes on Ho'oponopono, and that question comes up in every class. And it's like people just get nervous. I don't want to do it wrong. But you can't do it wrong. You can change the order. The only thing I would say you don't want to do is sometimes people hear about Ho'oponopono and they think, well, you know what, I'm going to use it to change my husband. I'm going to go home and create radical change in my husband. And it doesn't really work that way. So Ho'oponopono is this Hawaiian healing technique that you use the sentences to heal within. Like you heal your own memories. You heal your own hurts. You heal limiting beliefs that are holding you back. You can heal negative emotions and negative feelings. So we really cleanse ourselves. And as we are clearing and cleansing ourselves, we affect the world around us. But we don't use Ho'oponopono to change someone else. It doesn't work that way.
Well, it's like law of attraction, right? People say, I want to use law of attraction so that my husband will change or that my kids will be different. It's like, that's not, we got to change from within first. It's all about us, and then everything else transmits from there. So let's do that for everybody right now. Do you mind? Let's just have everybody that's watching, just go ahead and think of something in your life, whether it's a contrasting experience, where it's something, an old wound, an old story, anything that knocks you off your game. And let's have Mary take us through a Ho'oponopono. Can we do that?
Absolutely. Maybe we could do it the way I do it in the classes that I teach, right? So I would say it, and you would repeat it, and then your audiences would repeat it with you, or when they're watching it.
Okay.
And just kind of hold the intention that you're you want to change or the intention that's bothering you.
Okay.
I would suggest, I usually do it like 4 or 5 times, and usually afterwards you kind of just feel the peace of it.
Okay.
So we'll do that.
Okay.
I'll say it and you'll repeat it, right?
Great.
So I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I am sorry.
I am sorry.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I am sorry.
I am sorry.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I am sorry.
I am sorry.
I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I am sorry.
I am sorry.
Just do one more. I love you.
I love you.
I thank you.
I thank you.
Please forgive me.
Please forgive me.
I am sorry.
I am sorry. You hear the energy?
Yeah.
That squeaky, that's energy, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, it doesn't get easier than that, right? And the wonderful thing about Ho'oponopono is I do seminars, I teach classes, I do coaching classes, that it has affected people in radical ways with health, money issues, relationships issues, feeling protected in life. It really can affect so many different areas in our life.
That's amazing. So let me ask you, because it seems like a pretty easy process. You just took us through us, but you have these classes that you teach on Ho'oponopono. So like you have a 30-day Ho'oponopono challenge. Like what is that?
So the 30-day Ho'oponopono challenge is when I meet somebody new or I start a class, I ask them to say these sentences for 30 days straight, right? So I love you, I thank you, please forgive me, I'm sorry. Let's say you do it 7 days and you miss a day. You just want to really get used to doing it regularly. So they have to start over. If they miss a day, they start over. And what happens is, I know I feel that I can relate to this and so do my students, but did you ever feel like in your brain it's like a stovetop and you have front burners and back burners? So when you say Ho'oponopono for 30 days, at some point it transfers to the back burners and it becomes more automatic. Right? And once Ho'oponopono becomes automatic in your mind or your heart, you want to start to look for what we call positive, unexpected twists. So all of a sudden, these amazing things start to happen. Like, I'll give you an example. Whenever I teach the class, if I'm going to give new students the 30-day Ho'oponopono challenge, I want to be doing it myself, right? So I start to Ho'oponopono more than regularly. And whenever I do that, for some reason, my children's lives, I have 2 daughters, they just like go on fire. They come home and they're like, oh my God, Mom, guess what happened? Oh my God, Mom. And one day my daughter comes in and she was working a part-time job for 17 hours. And her boss said to her, listen, you're doing such a great job. If you just give me 3 more hours at work, we're going to pay you full time. I mean, that's unexpected. Right? So she went from 17 hours to 20 hours. But she got paid like a full-time worker with benefits. Wow. I mean, how often do you hear that story, right? So we don't find that there's just results. There's usually some kind of big results, that result that's unexpected that you're like, whoa, that's amazing.
Cool.
Right? So the class is meant to really teach like the Ho'oponopono as a healing foundation. So first we learn Ho'oponopono, and then I teach them law of attraction. And it just has this powerful outcome.
Yeah, because that's my question. It's like, you just taught us how to Ho'oponopono. What are you going to teach in the class? I was like...
I mean, I'm giving you the bare basics, right? So we teach a little bit of the history of Ho'oponopono. The reason the class and the seminar came about was, I know you know Dr. Joe Vitale. He's been on your show.
Yeah.
So Ho'oponopono comes to the world through Dr. Joe Vitale. He wrote 2 books. One is called Zero Limits, and the other one is At Zero. And he had met a gentleman named Dr. Hugh Lin, who knew about Ho'oponopono. And Dr. Hugh Lin was an unusual psychiatrist who had a history of healing patients that were criminals and insane at the same time. And he never saw them. He never worked with them. He only Ho'oponopono'd over their files, and they received the healing. So when I read this in Dr. Joe's book, I was like, as a therapist, I was intrigued with it. And I just thought to myself, if Dr. Hugh Lin could do that for patients, like what could everyday people do in their lives if they knew about Ho'oponopono? And so we teach a basic, and then we teach an advanced. And it's just really a coaching program that holds people accountable for the first 6 weeks to make sure they're really Ho'oponopono.
Beautiful.
Right? 'Cause you can teach something, but how often do people really apply it? So the purpose of the class is to make sure they're always learning more, they're reading the material, and they're really just Ho'oponoponoing and remembering to look for the positive, the unexpected positive twist. And then the best part of the group is we find that like 95% of the people in the group within 4 to 6 weeks have amazing stories to tell. So they love to come back to the group and tell their stories, you know,
Very
like
cool.
that's a big part of supporting each other. And, you know, many of the people have many stories because they just continue to Ho'oponopono. So,
Love it.
yeah, it's about
Awesome.
being accountable.
That's incredible. So I know that you have a free gift to give everybody, so you can go underneath the video. There's going to be a link. Dr. Mary has a very generous gift for you. So can you share the gift?
Sure. The gift is it's a book on Ho'oponopono and radical change, and it's basically about how reading Dr. Joe's books helped me create a 3-hour seminar where people had amazing results, and it just walks you through. Sometimes I think people need help in knowing how to be more open to change and how to believe in change. So those are 2 powerful chapters in the book. And then we give you the 30-day Ho'oponopono challenge. And if you want more information on Ho'oponopono, how you can get that. But, you know, it's not in the book, but can I tell you 3 quick stories that I think will really,
Of course.
you know, want people to check this out?
Yeah.
So the first one is there was a woman that she came to the Ho'oponopono seminar. And in the seminar, I challenged them, what's the biggest healing you want to get from Ho'oponopono? So she decided that ever since she was adult, she had a rough relationship with her mom. So she wanted a healing with her mom. So she leaves the seminar, and that week her mom calls her. So she gets on the phone. They have a beautiful conversation. Happens for week 2, week 3, week 4. And then the next week, her mom actually passed away. So, yeah. So she came to the seminar, Ho'oponopono about the healing, had this amazing healing for 4 or 5 weeks, and then her mom passed away. And she had closure.
Wow.
So that was life-changing for her.
You just can't, first of all, I can't write that in a script, and you just, and that's just absolutely priceless.
Yeah.
You cannot put a price on that. That's wow.
And then I have another woman that, you know, most of her life she struggled a lot. Like counseling helped, but it never helped her enough. She was always upset, always bitter, single mom, just a really difficult life, no family support, no family support. And she stuck out the Ho'oponopono for an entire year. She just kept coming back and coming back. And I did an event a few weeks ago, and she was one of my speakers. She's an entirely different person. Like, she's no longer angry. She's no longer upset. She's doing self-love. She's in a relationship for the first time. Like, everything has radically changed for her just by Ho'oponoponoing for an entire year.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean, that's like, to see somebody transform like that is absolutely amazing. And then protection. We find that a lot of people Ho'oponoing seem to get extra protection. So there was a woman in a very high-powered job. She was there 18 years, and she got a new boss. And her boss was kind of setting her up to, like, get fired, to not have a job. So she was one of my counseling clients, and I introduced her to Ho'oponopono, and she just fell in love with it. And she said, I'm going to do it. And she did it for months. And then, like, around month 5, the woman that was trying to get her fired got removed from her department. But
Wow.
she continued to Ho'oponopono. So she ended up getting 2 promotions, and 2.5 years later, and she Ho'oponoponoed the whole time. The woman who tried to get her fired actually got fired, and she was one of the people on a team of 3 that would decide her benefits. The old boss that was getting fired.
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah.
the whole thing did a 360. And all she ever did was, like, Ho'oponopono.
Wow. That's incredible.
She didn't have
Amazing.
any anger or anything like that.
That's amazing.
Uh-huh.
That's incredible. Awesome, Dr. Mary. I love you. I'm so grateful that you're in this world and that you're doing the work that you are doing. And I love the fact that you're taking law of attraction and combining it with this and teaching how to navigate both together. So that's really incredible. And I always appreciate really good healing modalities like this. So I'm going to start Ho'oponoponoing.
Excellent. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to make sure that you're Ho'oponoponoing because I love you too.
Aw, thank you. So everybody tell us know what you're going to take away from this video today. Let us know if you are going to Ho'oponopono. So remember, it is I love you, I thank you, please forgive me, and I'm sorry. So go ahead and let us know what you are taking away. And Dr. Mary, I will see you very soon. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christy.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching, and here is a related video to watch right now. Also, check out my free webinars on creating whatever you want in your life using the universal laws that I explain in each webinar. So share your thoughts by leaving a comment and continue the conversation at ChristyWhitman.com.